or with over 1,000 varieties of beer, hard to find spirits, and that perfect bottle of wine for any occasion. With locations on Johnson Street and Salzburg Avenue, both locations are equipped with supplies for any occasion. Put an end to your search and visit us at Ideal Party Store in Bay City on Johnson Street and Salzburg Avenue.
Attention business owners. Stop throwing your hard-earned money away on rent. Imagine owning your own building and saving thousands every year. Sound impossible? Not if you use General Steel. General Steel can help you save thousands by owning your own custom-designed building. Just call 888-74-STEEL. That's 888-74-STEEL to see how much money you can save with General Steel. Our buildings come with a 50-year warranty, and thousands of companies, from Fortune 500 corporations to startups, have trusted the General with their building needs.
If you need to expand or start a new business, you really need General Steel.
I'm very impressed with General Steel. Everyone's been extremely helpful. I'd recommend General Steel to anyone looking to build a steel building.
Stop wasting money on rent. Call 888-74-STEEL. That's 888-74-STEEL to find out about all our popular quick construction kits, including a 40 by 60 foot building or a 50 by 100 clear span building. Just call 888-747-8335 now. That's 888-74-STEEL.
Inflation is nothing more than legalized theft. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and to preserve your wealth, I highly recommend keeping physical gold in your retirement account. To learn more, text the word safeguard to 989898 to get a free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold, which is the only gold IRA company I trust. So text safeguard to 989898 to request your free info kit right now.
I'm Stuart Varley, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Dick's Sporting Goods is still selling shoes and athletic wear. Its recent quarter was better than expected. BJ's Wholesale is reporting a mixed quarter. Sales rose in recent months, though not as much as Wall Street was anticipating. The warehouse chain is still seeing strong demand for groceries. It's standing by its forecast for the year. BJ's Wholesale says it is picking up shoppers who used to buy at other retailers because they're looking for deals. Lowe's is lowering expectations for this year after a better-than-expected winter quarter. The home improvement chain has been dealing with weaker demand for do-it-yourself projects, severe weather that put off home renovations, and lower prices for lumber, which cut into Lowe's profit. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Jesse Kelly here. I'm not a financial expert, but I do look for solid investment opportunities for investment growth and protection against loss. I do know that putting all your eggs in one basket is not a good financial plan. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver with Oxford Gold is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Or you can buy precious metals and keep them in your safe. One app, one call, and you pick your precious metals. That's 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
When they're investigating, we can't stop watching. This month on BritBox, sit back, relax, and enjoy watching the detectives. Discover Britain's most bingeable mysteries, including the brand new season of Grace, the hit series based on the books by best-selling author Peter James. Unwind with the detectives you could watch all night long. Stream them all now exclusively on BritBox. Endlessly intriguing. Start your free trial at BritBox.com.
The WSGW Morning Team.
Here is the WSGW online poll for you about the cash or the card you use. The number of Americans using cash to complete transactions continues to wane. More and more businesses, entertainment venues, sporting arenas, cashless. People are finding cards more convenient. In a lot of cases, even getting some rewards. Recent surveys, though, show an unexpected increase in the use of cash, especially related to Generation Z, the adults in the 18 to 26 range. Gen Zers say that cash is forcing them to be more thoughtful about spending. It's a great budgeting tool, especially if you tend to overspend when swiping your card. The WSGW poll question for you: do you use cash or card for transactions? You can answer, I use cash more than a card, I use card more than a cash, or I use them about the same. Your responses at WSGW.com, scrolling down the homepage and finding the poll box and voting that way.
Your morning team, 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
Hi, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show, talking to Jase Bolger. He is the former Speaker of the Michigan House of Representatives and a member of the West Michigan Policy Forum. We're talking about the Mackinac Policy Conference. When's that coming up, Jase?
That's coming up later this week.
So you mentioned, right to work and some of those things. What are some of the other issues that are likely to get talked about up there?
Well, I expect there to be talk of roads, but again, now it's been 5 years since Whitmer said she's going to fix the damn roads, and we civil engineers just rated Michigan roads a D, a failing grade. And so it's time for solutions. It's time for results. And as you look at the surpluses that the legislature had when Senator Horn was there, they'd spend money and then end up with a higher balance after doing so. They've been burning through money right now, but haven't been using it to fix the roads. There's enough money there to fix every troubled bridge in the state. And so it remains to be seen how they're going to use it. But the proposals thus far don't turn around and fix those roads. I think there'll be talk of education. And unfortunately, Michigan's continued slide in education performance, K-12 performance, which is failing our kids. As you look, U.S. News and World Report just rated Michigan 41st in overall rankings in the country, but 37th in K-12 education. That's wholly unacceptable. We're not even in the middle of the pack. We're down at the bottom. And as you look, we've spent more and more and significantly more on K-12 education. You often hear people propose that what we need is more money. If we just had more money, that would fix the problem. Well, more money is not going to fix the problem without equal accountability, making sure that parents know that their kids are getting the education that they deserve. And what we've seen, unfortunately, is a backing off of that. Democrats in the legislature and Governor Whitmer recently repealed the third grade reading law, which ensured every kid got the resources, the help, the support they needed to be able to read by the fourth grade so that they could read to learn for the rest of their life. And even if that meant an extra year. And then just yesterday, Governor Whitmer signed a bill to repeal A to F letter grading for our schools. That provided clarity for parents. So as they made decisions about what school to send their kid to and get engaged, involved, and support their kids' education, they will no longer have a letter grade to understand what that means. Instead, they've got a complex numbering system.
That was...
I've got a fire alarm going off.
I hear that.
I'm not sure what's going on.
Well, maybe you better find out.
I ducked into another room. I don't smell any smoke.
Oh,
so,
good. Oh, my goodness gracious. Is that an office building you're in, or?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Makes life interesting. Yes,
it does, especially with live radio.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
anyway,
I think parents deserve to know where their kids' school is performing, how they're performing or not performing. And it's sad to see the current majority caving to special interests, frankly. It's the teachers union that pressed for this, and that for a bit of irony, the NEA, the National Education Association, issues what? Letter grades to rate their congressional representatives, because they think that most clearly explains to their members how those legislators perform.
Yeah, it is one of those strange paradoxes. Let me go back. I want to talk just a little bit more about the loss of population in the state and methods to attract business, which brings back population. If you had your druthers and you could wave a wand, what would Michigan look like and how would it get there?
I think ultimately what you need to attract and retain population is career opportunities, strong career opportunities. When a college graduate decides where they're going to live, how do they make that decision? First and foremost, it's where they can find a good job. Then they start to look at the community around them. So it's certainly not an either or, it's a both and, but it starts with that career opportunity. And so to do that, you have to make Michigan a competitive place. In fact, among the best places to create, attract, and provide jobs. Those jobs that would turn into careers for workers. And so with that, we see the most excelling states, the states that are doing the best, again, states that have right to work to allow freedom for their workers, that have no income tax to reward their workers for their labor, that make sure that they have a good education system with parents having access to whatever education is needed for their kid, so that it's not one size fits all. It's customized. That parents, and we're seeing more and more states offer more and more opportunity, while Michigan seems to clamp down on that and provide less opportunity. So those are some of the places I would start. And then you've got to have good roads. You've got to have strong infrastructure to attract that investment. You as a state, a community, have to prove that you're investing in what's important to attract other people's investment to your area.
Yeah. Jase, let me ask you, mentioned a couple of times those states without an income tax. Is it feasible to think that Michigan could get along without its income tax, and how would you pay for government services?
You know, we were on a path, and the path was actually in this case, it was the Attorney General, Messel, moved to stop. And that was if the state grew, state revenues grew, there would be a dialing back of the income tax. So it wouldn't be overnight, but we were on a path to do that. And as the state's pocketbook got healthier, then families' pocketbooks could get healthier. And so that was a good way to do it. And certainly what other states do is they tax other things, whether that's sales tax, et cetera, consumption. That is therefore applied to everybody as they're spending, but not penalizing their work. So there's a multitude of ways to do it. I don't think you do it overnight, and you don't do it lightly. But what's sad to see is we've got a state that's gone the opposite direction and has repealed blocked. Though they voted to stop, they also are taking other maneuvers to stop a responsible rollback, one that allowed for the funding of state government, and yet as state government grew, would return some of that excess to workers.
We have, a surplus of cash because of the pandemic money. That's going to go away. What kind of shape is the state going to be in when that money disappears?
You know, that's a big concern. Another thing the Policy Forum has been working on is unfunded promises or pensions, pension obligations, promises made to our teachers, firefighters, police officers. Make sure that we fund those obligations now so that those bills don't crush our future generations. That's something that they could do with one-time money. We've already talked, fixing our roads and bridges, making those kind of long-term investments is something they could do with that one-time money. Unfortunately, we're seeing and hearing a lot of proposals to start so-called pilot projects of government programs with one-time money. Now, they call it a pilot project to suggest that it's not going to continue because they haven't identified the funding for that. But as Ronald Reagan said, the closest thing to eternal life on earth is a government program. And so the danger, the concern is that as they start these projects with one-time money, the demand will be to continue those later. And that irresponsible spending will generate pressure to raise taxes and fees on Michigan workers.
Well, Jase, listen, I appreciate your time this morning. We're going to let you get out of the fire zone.
Well, thank you. And, I trust this is a false alarm, but we'll go investigate.
And we'll get to talk to you down the road. Thanks for being with us today.
You take care, Art.
Take care. Bye-bye now. Jase Bolger, former Speaker of the Michigan House, and his office building has a fire alarm system, obviously, that went off. It made life interesting. Anyway, We'll have open phones now for the remainder of the program right up till 11 o'clock. 989-752-6111 is the number to call and be a part of the program. We'd love to chat with you. We'll be back to do just that and bring up some other topics right after these notes.
Spring is here, and we are ready. We can help you get your yard looking alive. Hi, I'm Matt Bouvet. At Abley Greenhouse and Garden Center, our plants look great. They're hardy and colorful because we grow them here with a little touch of TLC. Remember, at Abley's, you get the best plants along with time-tested and proven advice, all at very competitive prices. That's been our pledge to our customers for decades. Stroll through our more than 2 acres of greenhouse and garden center and enjoy springtime at its finest. Flats and flats of vibrant, healthy plants just waiting to call your home their home this spring. Decorative pots and hanging plants. Specially designed pots with plant combinations you won't find anywhere else. Enjoy the smell. Feel the energy. Make it a part of your yard this year with the help of Abley Greenhouse and Garden Center. Get the TLC you deserve by planting with us this spring at Abley Greenhouse and Garden Center on Wadsworth near the freeway, Saginaw. Remember, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. See us online. Like us on Facebook and Twitter too. Let us make your outdoors beautiful.
We can't see tomorrow, but we can hear it. Tomorrow sounds like hydrogen being added to natural gas to make it more sustainable. It sounds like solar panels generating thousands of megawatts. And it sounds like carbon being captured and stored, keeping it out of our atmosphere. We've been bridging to a sustainable energy future for more than 20 years. Because what we do today helps ensure tomorrow is on. Enbridge. Life takes energy.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Why would you pay full price when you know that you can save money at RocketGrabPlus.com? Check out all of our deals going on right now. From Bell's Barkery and Boutique, The Bearded Axe, Applied Training Solutions, Mid-Michigan Garage Door, PJ's Pizzeria in Pinconning, Branham's Jewelry, and so many more. And they're all half off. Snag your deal right now at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
The WSGW Morning Team.
The resignation from adulthood. I have decided I would like to accept the responsibilities of an 8-year-old again. I want to go to McDonald's and think that it's a 4-star restaurant. I want to sail sticks across a fresh mud puddle. I want to think M&Ms are better than money because you can eat them. I want to return to a time when life was simple and all you knew were colors, nursery rhymes. That didn't bother you because you didn't know what you didn't know and you didn't care. I want to think the world is fair, that everyone is honest and good. I want to be oblivious to the complexities of life and be overly excited by the little things again. So, I am officially resigning from adulthood. And if you want to discuss this further, you'll have to catch me first because tag, you're it.
Your Morning Team, 5:30 to 9 on WSGW. From the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios, you are listening to 100.5 and 790 WSGW.
All right, back with you on the Art Lewis Show. And the lines are open for you at 989-752-6111. Yesterday, Ford CEO Jim Farley talked to industry analysts saying the automaker's been stuck in a box and they plan to break out of that box. But one of the things I've noticed, and it seems to be a recurring theme in the auto industry these days, is something called subscription services. For example, you buy a car today and let's say it has heated and cooled front seats. You pay for it up front, it's yours. It's part of your car. What if the auto industry said to you, you can buy the car, but we're going to charge you a monthly subscription fee for you to have heated and cooled seats in your car. That's apparently what's happening in the industry. And yesterday, Mr. Farley talked about raising an additional $200 million in revenue from subscriptions for what they call the Blue Cruise Advanced Driving Assistance System. And what this system does is it pairs a vehicle's adaptive cruise control system with a lane centering assistance system and provides hands-free driving capability. And that revenue is separate from a vehicle sales. In other words, you buy the vehicle, but if you want to use those features, you have to pay X dollars a month. General Motors has announced something like that. Some other car companies have announced it. And cars are already expensive enough, but to have to pay the price up front. And remember, when you buy the car, you're paying for those features. They've been installed in the car. But you can't use them, even though you own them, unless you buy the subscription. To me, well, I'll tell you what it means to me. It means to me, if I have a well-equipped car today, I'm going to drive it a lot longer. My car has a lot of those features, and it's in good shape. So why not? I think that's what's going to happen. I think the industry, by doing all of these things, and yeah, forgive me for spouting off like this because I'm not an industry analyst. I'm not an expert in the auto industry sales game. But as a consumer, I look at it from my standpoint. What drives me to the marketplace? And what would keep me away from the marketplace? So I just thought I'd mention that this morning. Scott is in Saginaw, so we'll say good morning to Scott.
Hey, good morning, Art. Yeah, I want to talk about a few things with the Democratic Party. Not what they say, but what they've been doing. And I find this stuff really disgusting. And again, since this president has come in, I can't get the definitive answer on how many children have come across the border. But we know through court hearings that at least 85,000 of them have been lost. They found a couple of these little girls. Here's a sick statistic or a stat that some of these girls have been found with at least 20 different DNA samples in them. These are children coming across the border that he's supposed to be protecting, our president. California, Minnesota, both putting laws on the books to change wording for pedophilia. When we know that these people are actually changing the definition of it, they want to call it MEPS, M-A-P-S, minor attracted persons.
Yeah.
What does this mean? It's adults sexually attracted to and aroused by minor children.
Yep.
This president now with action has placed Ketanji Brown on the Supreme Court. In her own words, she said, just because a man looks at child pornography online doesn't mean he should go to prison. The last one, this administration now has stopped DNA testing at the border. So now if somebody comes to the border with a child, we no longer even try to see if they are related. So to me, we have a very big problem with pedophilia and states and Democrats supporting this sick move. That's where I'm at with it, Art.
I gathered.
And I think it explains a lot too why with Jeffrey Epstein we don't have anybody actually going to jail who is raping or having sex with these little children. Why is that?
Yeah.
Why is this being covered up? It looks like we have a problem with people in this country covering up pedophilia. So that's my spout on that, Art.
All right. Good enough, Scott.
All right. I'll talk to you.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye-bye now. All right. 9:45 here on the Art Lewis Show. Lines open. Saginaw Bay City, 752-6111. Toll free. Same number. I almost did it. I got so used to saying it for years, but I don't have to anymore. 989-752-6111.
Tired of driving all over town just to find your favorite bottle of beer, wine, or liquor? Then look no further than Ideal Party Store in Bay City. Ideal Party Store has been making you the life of the party since 1934 with over 1,000 varieties of beer, hard to find spirits, and that perfect bottle of wine for any occasion. With locations on Johnson Street and Salzburg Avenue, both locations are equipped with supplies for any occasion. Put an end to your search and visit us at Ideal Party Store in Bay City on Johnson Street and Salzburg Avenue.
Dream it, book it, golf it. This season, head to the Island Resort and Casino, your Midwest golf destination, with 2 top-ranked courses in 2022. Sweetgrass, ranked number 10, and Sage Run, ranked number 20. Dramatically different, but equally exceptional. Visit islandresortgolf.com for package details. To book your package, call 877-ISL-GREEN. Stop dreaming of great golf. Start playing it at the Island. Book today for best availability.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
Mornings were made for better things than rheumatoid arthritis or RA. Xeljanz tofacitinib is a pill for adults with moderate to severe RA when tumor necrosis factor blockers did not work well or could not be tolerated. Xeljanz can help relieve joint pain, swelling, and help stop further joint damage. Xeljanz can lower your ability to fight infections. Don't start if you have one. Before and during treatment, your doctor should check for infections like TB and do blood tests. Serious, sometimes fatal infections, cancers including lymphoma and lung, blood clots, serious heart-related events, tears in the stomach or intestines, and allergic reactions have happened. People 50 and older with heart disease risk factors have an increased risk of death. Tell your doctor if you've had hepatitis B or C, have flu-like symptoms, are prone to infections, or have ever had a heart attack, stroke, clot, or other heart problems, or swelling of lips, tongue, throat, or hives. Ask your doctor about prescription Xeljanz. Visit Xeljanz.com or call 1-844-XELJANZ.
Hi, this is Mike Avery. You know you can hear my outdoor magazine show Sunday mornings, 9 till noon on WSGW. But now there's another option. Saturday morning, 6 till 9. Tune in for the latest outdoor news and information, hunting and fishing tips, wildlife and conservation issues, even some wild game cooking. That's Outdoor Magazine now on Saturday mornings too, 6 till 9, right here on WSGW 790 AM and 100.5 FM.
All right, we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show, and back to our phones. Charlie is in Bay City. Charlie, good morning.
Hi, Art.
Hi.
I'd like to get your opinion on something. Gun-free zones. Why do we still have those when we know by experience that they attract psychopath shooters?
Well, there's a couple of answers to that. First of all, there are two different laws at work here. We have federal laws which prohibit concealed carry in certain areas, and then on top of that, you have state laws, and every state has its own segment of laws that prevent concealed carry in certain areres. I'm not disagreeing with you. Don't misunderstand me. But the reason we have it is because the states and the federal government have laws that are allowed. You know, the Constitution gives you the right to bear arms, but it also, according to the courts, allows states to come up with their own their own concepts of where you can carry and where you can't.
And those violate the Second Amendment too.
Well,
But, a
do
lot of
they
people
though? I
are-
mean, the courts don't seem to agree with you on that. And it's, the Second Amendment is so broad in its interpretation. And, for example, and I've heard this offered up many times, and understand I'm a gun owner and I have a CPL. So I come from the standpoint of I agree with you. But if you read the Second Amendment and it gives you the right to bear arms, does it say what that arm is? If you go by the founding fathers and they said, okay, you can own a musket, that's it. I mean, how
They
would
didn't say
it,
musket.
Well, they didn't say musket. They had the right to bear arms, but the courts have generally sided with the fact that the reason they did that is to protect society against a tyrannical government, if you will.
But looking at it from a practical standpoint, it attracts the psycho shooters.
Yeah.
It tells them that there's no one there to defend the people.
Yeah. Well, here's the problem. The problem is that for many on the left, they look at the gun as the problem, not the person using it.
Yeah.
And for many of us who are gun owners, we say the guns don't kill, people do.
Right.
And
you wouldn't put a sign in your yard that said gun-free zone, would you?
No.
Well, the same psychology works for other facilities. I won't name any of them.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with you at all. But
that law should be repealed. The signs taken down immediately, if not sooner.
Well, then
because
you better
a
get
lot
out
of
there
innocent people are dying.
You better get out there and promote candidates who agree with you and get them elected. That's the way it
the
changes.
First thing after a shooting that they want to talk about is
guns.
Well, what's the motive? And we got to get rid of these guns, and
Well,
they're
I
not
think-
going to be able to do that.
Okay, there's two sides to that. One I agree with, one I don't agree with. I do think we need to know the motive so we can spot it in the future. But the gun is not the problem.
The problem with asking about the motive, for some reason, law enforcement is trained to kill the shooter, and you missed your chance to ask him what was on your mind.
You have to look at risk reward. You kill the shooter because if they continue shooting, they're going to kill others. So I mean that's not even a question. Here's the basic problem we have today, because if you'll notice in recent mass shootings, a lot of the shooters obtained those guns legally. And the problem is, and talk to any FFL, any licensed gun dealer, they will tell you one of the problems is when you fill out that federal form, there's only one question about mental health, and that has to do with whether you've ever been adjudicated against or committed because of it. You can choose to lie if you want, even though it says it's a felony, but HIPAA laws don't allow invasion of your mental privacy.
Right.
So they have no way of knowing. That's a stumbling block. That's a problem, and one that needs to be resolved. And I think most responsible gun owners would agree that that needs to be resolved.
But we've had these gun-free zones for a long time, and we know by the numbers that shooters are attracted to those locations.
Well, those locations
Because
certainly have
they're
had their
gun-free
share
zones.
of it. And I don't think that's the reason they're attracted. When they go in to do what they do, I don't think they give that a whit of consideration. They go in and look for the most people they can damage, or they have a grudge against a particular organization, what have you.
That might be, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think they say, "Oh, well, it's a gun-free zone. Let's go shoot people." I don't think that's what happens.
Well, we miss our chance to ask them because they're dead.
Well, that's true, but maybe we saved lives because of it. So what are you going to do?
Well, but we risk lives. Even you could consider that even child endangerment.
Well, there's no perfect solution.
In schools. Not well, no, but you begin by making them wonder, how soon are they going to face opposition?
I'm a realist. I live in the real world, and I don't see that changing.
Well, it should.
We could talk about that all day, but that's just it. It's talk. I understand what you're saying, and I don't disagree with you, but the reality is, and I have to live in the real world, or I have to figure out real solutions.
And that's where it begins, by talking about it.
Yep, absolutely. That's very true. You bet. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Charlie, thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Have a good one.
Yep, bye.
Bye-bye now. Now, it's, as I said to Charlie, I live in a real world. I want to have to respond in real world terms. I can dream about an ideal world the way I want it, but that's not where we live. And I can't, live my life pretending that it's something else. It's what it is. It's what it is. And if we don't like it, then the answer is to change those who make the laws and change the rules and go from there. I just, it's this whole question of guns in America has divided us tremendously. It's certainly added to the division. It's in a way on a scale, in the same way that the abortion issue has us split, so does this issue. And it is not an easy issue to tackle. And people point to other countries and all of that. Other countries don't have our Constitution, our Bill of Rights. And we have to deal with what we have, not what somebody else has. At least that's the way I view it. All right, let me take a moment here to tell you about my car dealer. McDonald Ford, M47 in Freeland. A great car dealer. They sell wonderful, wonderful automobiles. I'm buying them for a long time. But they do something else now. They're buying cars. You heard me right. They're buying cars. They want to buy your car. We're not talking about trade. We're talking about cash. You can sell your vehicle and you can begin the process online. Take your cell phone, take 7 photos of your car, and send them to joe@mcdonaldford.com. Now, let me tell you what those photos are. You have to have a photo of the front, the rear, the left and right sides, the car's interior, the dashboard showing vehicle mileage, and a photo of your title showing the VIN number. Those are the 7 photos required. You'll then receive an offer, and you decide. And if you decide to take that offer, payment is on the spot and includes all paperwork and lien release. Don't wait. Put cash in your pocket. Tell your friends and family, too. Send the photo to joe@mcdonaldford.com. Mention my name, Art Lewis. They'll throw in a free lunch with the deal. 6790 Midland Road in Freeland.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for the Knoll View Golf Course. You are going to get 18 holes of golf for 2 and a cart for only $33. It's usually $66, but you are getting it half off. The Knoll View Golf Course is family-owned, built, and operated. Fridays and Saturdays during music night, they offer steak, shrimp, chicken, and salmon on the grill. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal. RocketGrabPlus.com.
Next up, straight talk from Doug. Ever notice that saying no offense is offensive? Like, no offense, but you're overpaying for your wireless. See? Offensive.
That's the Straight Talk talking. Get unlimited plans as low as $35 a month from Straight Talk on America's most reliable 5G network. Available at Walmart and Walmart.com. On the $35 plan, first 10 gigabytes data at high speed, then 2G speeds. Refer to the latest terms at straighttalk.com based on most first-place rankings, root metrics, second half 2022 assessments of 125 metros. Experiences vary, not an endorsement.
All right, Open Phones will continue next hour right after the news. I'm Art Lewis, and we'll talk to you then.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. We've just learned more about the driver accused of ramming his U-Haul into barriers near the White House and making threats against the president and vice president. The Secret Service identifies him as a 19-year-old from Chesterfield, Missouri. Correspondent Nancy Cordes has more.
The suspect is in custody. Here's what we know right now. This incident took place around 10 p.m. last night. Video surfaced on social media showing the exact moment when the U-Haul driver tried to ram the truck past the barriers near the White House.
The same video shows officers removing what appears to be a Nazi flag from the truck. Still no agreement after another round of debt talks between President Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. CBS's Nicole Killian is on Capitol Hill.
He's going to continue to talk to President Biden. He has encouraged the negotiators to continue talking in the hopes that they can craft something. I mean, he said it is really critical that they try to get a deal this week in order to meet that timetable.
The deadline's June 1st. McCarthy pledges to meet every day until they reach an agreement. Surgeon General Vivek Murthy has issued a public health advisory warning parents about the dangers of kids on social media. He says it can interfere with a critical phase of brain development and even increase sensitivity to social rewards and punishments. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer has signed a new red flag law that allows family members, police, and others to petition judges to remove guns from someone they believe poses an immediate threat to themselves or others.
We have heard too many times from those who knew a mass shooter who had expressed concern in advance about that mass shooter's intentions, but weren't able to take any further course of action.
3 students were shot and killed at Michigan State University 3 months ago. A deadly crash triggered a riot in Wales.
This was the scene at a housing project on the edge of Cardiff last night. A crash in which 2 teenagers died triggered a riot, apparently after false rumors spread on social media blaming police for the accident. The rioters threw firecrackers, bricks, and obscenities at police trying to restore order. Cars were set on fire. Hours later, burning rubble still filled the streets as terrified residents cowered in their homes.
That's Vicki Barker reporting, and an update on the health of an Oscar-winning actor.
I'm the dude, so that's what you call me.
Big Lebowski's Jeff Bridges, who's recovering from non-Hodgkin lymphoma and a severe case of COVID, tells AARP magazine his 12-inch tumor has shrunk to the size of a marble after chemotherapy. The 73-year-old says he came close to dying from COVID 2 years ago. This is CBS News.
Need to hire quality candidates fast? You need Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
I can't wait for what's next, even with higher stroke risk due to atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Eliquis, the Pixaban tablets, reduces stroke risk. It's the #1 cardiologist-prescribed blood thinner.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or have antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising, or if you have tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take medicines such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but costs as low as $3 per dose? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at just $3 per dose. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but only $3 per dose. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Sunny skies and 63 degrees at 10:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Percha. Olympic gold medal speed skater Terry McDermott has died at the age of 82. U.S. Speed Skating made the announcement saying McDermott died early Saturday, surrounded by his family. The organization did not specify where he died or gave a cause. Nicknamed the Essexville Rocket after his hometown, McDermott was an unheralded figure on the speed skating scene when he stunningly won the 500-meter event at the 1964 Innsbruck Games, upsetting Soviet great and reigning Olympic champion Yevgeny Grishin by a half second. It was the only U.S. gold medal of those Winter Games. McDermott also appeared on the Ed Sullivan Show the same night the Beatles made their American television debut. A newly established committee looks to help Bay County compete for new development opportunities. Here's WSGW's Jonathan Dent.
The new Bay County Brownfield Redevelopment Authority will allow cities and townships to apply for state and federal funding to assist developers looking to build on contaminated sites that require significant cleanup. Bay County Executive Jim Barsha says that while Bay City already has a Brownfield Authority, the smaller communities that form the rest of the county could benefit from the new service. Barsha says the authority is already working to secure $250,000 in funding to clean up a site in Monitor Township for a new business. He says that by taking that burden off prospective developers, the county can encourage growth across all of its communities. Jonathan Dent, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
WSGW News Time, 10:07.
Hello, I'm Shep.
And I'm Mark.
And we're the friendly, board-certified entomologists from Rose Pest Solutions.
When it comes to pest management, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Seems like people only think of us once they've spotted a pest.
And by then, it could very well be expensive to treat.
That's where our free home assessments come in. We'll look for signs of pests and identify conditions that are conducive to unwanted visitors.
Whether it's a mouse in your house or a full-blown millipede bloom,
we have just the right solution to make your yard and your home more livable.
800-966-ROSE.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Why would you pay full price when you know that you can save money at RocketGrabPlus.com? Check out all of our deals going on right now, from Bell's Barkery and Boutique, The Bearded Axe, Applied Training Solutions, Mid-Michigan Garage Door, PJ's Pizzeria in Pinconning, Branham's Jewelry, and so many more. And they're all half off. Snag your deal right now at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
WSGW News Time, 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. A man could face charges after hitting a woman with a stick. Ann Arbor police say a 20-year-old woman was hit in the head with a stick when she was sitting at an outdoor table at the Avalon Cafe on Liberty Street last week. Investigators responded to the scene and found a 29-year-old man walking down the street carrying the stick. They say when the man walked past the cafe, he swung it and hit the victim on the back of her head. Police say the victim and the suspect do not know each other. The incident is believed to be random. The victim was treated for minor injuries. No new blastomycosis cases have been reported from the Billerud paper mill in Escanaba. Michigan news sources Tim Ellis has an update.
Officials stated that Friday has now marked 2 weeks since the last new reported cases of blastomycosis related to the mill. Although officials are pleased with that, they did report that incubation period for blastomycosis can range from 21 to 90 days. The total number of cases stands at 118, with 14 people being hospitalized and 1 death associated with blastomycosis. All of the cases are either employees, contractors, or visitors of the mill. For Michigan News Source, I'm Tim Ellis.
A state representative is working to ban face masks in government buildings around the state. Republican Representative James DeSana from Monroe County has introduced a joint resolution which would change the Michigan Constitution and remove the state's ability to require face masks in certain public buildings. If approved by 2/3 of the House and Senate, it would be placed on a statewide ballot. WSGW News Time 10:10. I'm Mike Percha. Now here's WNEM First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Tuesday has a high of 81 degrees, mostly sunny, just hazy with the wildfire smoke. A southeast wind shifting to the southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, increasing clouds, a low of 52. That southwest wind will then shift to the northwest with a speed of 5 to 10. Then for your Wednesday, only high of 61 in the Tri-Cities. Will actually stay in the 50s if you're closer to Lake Huron because of the morning passage of a cold front. It could bring a pop-up shower. Otherwise, though, we're expecting to stay dry. Plenty of sun by Wednesday afternoon, just a cooler day, and the northeast wind behind the front that'll gust to about 30 miles per hour. By Thursday, looking at a high of 61 degrees, but that's after a cooler start in the morning. So for Wednesday night, your lows are actually going to fall to about 39 degrees, closer to freezing up north. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Yes, indeed, Westside Decorating Center is our sponsor. 5789 State Street in Saginaw. Stop and visit them for all your home decorating needs. And I should also point out with the weather, we have 62 degrees under hazy sunshine here at WSGW. Open phones this hour, 989-752-6111, whatever you'd like to chat about. I got a couple of things to bring up, but we always defer to the phone calls. And Joe is with us in Saginaw. Joe, good morning.
Good morning, Art. I was amused by your guest that you had on today. And I wonder, he forgot to mention that, the Democratic Party has only had any access to the state budget for the past year or two, and presumably it's just in the past year or so that those roads and bridges broke down.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, that one. The roads have been a sticky issue for a long, long time through a lot of administrations.
Indeed. And
the other thing, though, is here's the one thing that I don't like about what the governor's done, and it's not just her because it's in the way things are set up, but when she told MDOT to go out and get that $3.5 billion or whatever it was they were going to issue bonds to fix the roads, not a single dollar of that went to local roads. And you and I both know local roads and streets are where the real need is, and local bridges.
Oh, I know it. Here in Saginaw, our
it's everywhere.
City budget doesn't even have enough to fix the potholes.
Yep.
The other thing was, I was surprised that he didn't, when he was talking about going to a sales tax rather than an income tax. There's practically nothing that's more regressive than a sales tax. But I was surprised that he didn't attribute some of his comments to their original author, a gentleman named Ronald Reagan.
Did Reagan? Well, yeah, I guess there was some talk.
Well,
about that.
there was talk. Well, it was the good old trickle-down system. Give the money to the people who can manage it better, the wealthy people. They can manage it better because they have more of it, and it'll just trickle down to those slobs. And if they don't have unions, that'll take some of their power away too. So
that's a separate issue. The union issue is a separate issue. But the notion of eliminating an income tax in place of a sales tax then brings up the issue of how do you treat those who can't afford to pay that tax? And the answer is in the products you exempt from the sales tax. So you exempt as they are today.
True, like food and things
clothing,
of that
and the
nature.
basic necessities you
The basic
exempt.
necessities.
You exempt from that tax because the way I look at it, and some people may fault me for this, a television is not a necessity. If you can afford to go out and buy a television, then you can pay the sales tax. But if you can't afford to go out and buy a pair of shoes, that's a whole different story, isn't it? So I say that if we're going to have a sales tax base, and there's been a lot of talk and there's been a lot of names applied to it, like a fair tax and all of those things we've heard about.
Mm-hmm.
The bottom line is that in this country, we are a compassionate people. We understand that those in need should be helped. Beyond that, you pay your fair share, but and I have to be careful how I say that when I say pay your fair share, because half the population doesn't pay tax today, income tax.
Well,
and the problem
true.
is every time they talk about taxing the rich, they need to pay their fair share. They don't tell us what that fair share is. Nobody seems to have a number.
Well, the other thing is, our economy is becoming increasingly complex, in our manufacturing system and so forth. And there are a lot of people that just aren't able to develop the skills that would allow them to work in this economy. And
I question that. There are those people, obviously, that either intellectually or physically don't have the ability. I'll grant you that. But I think today almost anyone, if they get off their duff, can get the training needed to go out and be a journeyman almost anything. There's enough opportunity out there for everybody.
Yeah, if they have the ability to do it.
Yeah, I'm saying if they have the ability to do it, but what limits the ability? Laziness is not a factor.
Well, that's true, but here's the thing, if the average IQ is 100, there are 50% of the people whose IQs are less than 100. And the rules are mostly made by those people whose IQs are well above 100, And I think it's always good to have training programs and all that sort of thing. But there are a number of people in our world that just aren't able to become trained for today's jobs.
Nothing is perfect.
I have a hard time.
Nothing is perfect. But I don't believe that number is so huge that it can't be dealt with. I find that hard to believe.
Well, it's
there are those
interesting,
people, but as a percentage of the population, I don't think it's extreme. I don't think it's huge.
Well, I think that's true. But, the thing is, the more our economy becomes robotic, the robots are taking over those jobs that the less capable used to do. I mean, when you think of the old assembly lines where the jobs were so simple-minded, anybody could do
screw A
it.
to screw B, right? Yeah, screw A goes in hole
Right.
B.
Right.
Yeah. No, there's no doubt automation has changed the way we do things.
Yeah.
But it's by the same token, there's opportunity out there.
Well, and the other thing is, he was talking about, our education system going to pot. But one of the problems there is that, teaching, especially in an urban situation, is not an easy job.
Never has been.
Never has been. And if we're not willing to pay these people enough to go and do that job, then they're not going to go.
Yeah, but here's the problem. Here's the problem. Paying more money to the people teaching has not translated into better performance in the schools.
But
I can remember moving here in the 70s, and Michigan had some of the highest paid teachers, and we were ranked like 48th in the nation in education. They don't go together. I mean, you do have to pay a respectable salary to teachers. They deserve it. Good teachers are worth their weight in gold. No two ways about it. But just to throw money across the board doesn't guarantee you results.
Well, that's true. I think there has to be some management of the situation.
Yeah, there does.
By the same token, what we've done lately in the state of Michigan was, instead of increasing the salaries and so forth for the teachers, we've reduced the qualifications.
Well, that's because the reason is they were having trouble attracting people. It's not a good reason.
Well, I know, but if we just,
I agree with you there. It shouldn't happen, but it did.
Well, I know, but I thought.
And then we want to throw more, we want to throw more money at those people who have lesser qualifications.
But the thing is, that they talk about substitute teachers. They just keep. I think you can become a substitute teacher now if you have a high school diploma. I mean, it doesn't matter if you know anything about education or not.
All right, Joe, I got to interrupt because I got to take a break.
Okay.
Appreciate the conversation.
Just thought I'd throw those ideas in.
All right, thanks
good
a lot.
talking to you.
Appreciate
Bye
it.
now.
Bye now. All right, lines open for you. We'll be back after these notes.
Enjoy a Tigers game from the comfort and privacy of your own suite. Whether you're entertaining clients, hosting employees, or celebrating a birthday with friends and family, a premium suite is the best way to catch a game. Plus, customize your experience with a tailored menu just for you and special upgrades. Step up your game with a suite at Comerica Park. Learn more at tigers.com/premium.
Moments like seeing my son's team cheer him on mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Inflation is nothing more than legalized theft. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and to preserve your wealth, I highly recommend keeping physical gold in your retirement account. To learn more, text the word safeguard to 989898 to get a free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold, which is the only gold IRA company I trust. So text safeguard to 989898 to request your free info.
I'm Lauren Simonetti, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened lower. Investors are considering the debt ceiling situation and mixed earnings. Home improvement chain Lowe's reported a better than expected quarter, though it's lowering its forecast for the year. The stock opened higher. Dick's Sporting Goods quarter was better than forecast. It's standing by its predictions for the year. Dick's shares are up 0.5%. Broadcom shares opened sharply higher. Apple has a multi-billion-dollar deal with Broadcom to use 5G chips made in the United States. The Wall Street Journal says investment firm TCS Capital has purchased a stake in Yelp and wants the review site to consider options, including selling itself. And Panera Brands has promoted a company insider, Jose Alberto Dueñas, to chief executive. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Inflation is nothing more than legalized theft. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and to preserve your wealth, I highly recommend keeping physical gold in your retirement account. To learn more, text the word SHELTER to 989898 to get a free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold, which is the only gold IRA company I trust. So text SHELTER to 989898 to request your free info kit right now.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Simply Safe was named Best Home Security of 2023 by U.S. News and World Report. But we don't do what we do for the accolades. We do it to protect you and everything you love. Our advanced sensors, indoor and outdoor HD cameras, and hazard detectors are powered by live 24/7 professional monitoring, so you get emergency help fast. Get 20% off any new system with interactive monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Are you a do-it-yourselfer or a direct-it-yourselfer?
Every weekend, people tell us about overspending on projects they could have handled themselves for lots less money.
And we hear from people who ended up overspending because they tried to do something they should have called in a pro to tackle.
Well, we'll help you sort it out. I'm Tom Kreitler.
And I'm Leslie Segretti. Got a remodeling or a repair project?
We can help you decide whether to do it yourself or direct it yourself this weekend on the Money Pit Home Improvement Radio Show.
Saturday mornings at 9 on WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW and back to our phones. Jim is in Freeland. Jim, good morning.
Good morning, Art.
Morning.
How are you today?
Good.
Anyway, I'd like to bring up a little lighter note that Mother's Day, we went on the east side to visit some family grave sites, and that was wonderful. And then on the way home, we were going down Washington past Hoyt Park.
Uh-huh.
And I noticed a tremendous amount of cars. So I pulled in one of the, little parking areas by the old warming center and just, cruised very slowly. Amazing the amount of cars filled up. So anyway, there was a lady getting out of her car. So I stopped, rolled the windows down, and we conversed with her. She was from Traverse City, and her daughter, it looked like they were mainly all young girls playing ball.
Mm-hmm.
So her daughter, they were from Traverse City. They come down here to Saginaw, Hoyt Park, for a game day. That's wonderful. That really made the day.
Very timely observation, and I'll tell you why. Last night I was someplace and ran into Larry Breathauer, who is pretty much responsible for what's happening down at Hoyt Park right now. And he was telling us they bring people in from states all over the place to play tournaments at Hoyt Park, and you just never hear about them.
That's right.
And it's a very positive thing. And we're hopeful with the Memorial Cup coming to Saginaw from the Ontario Hockey League. Part of what's going to be happening is we're going to hopefully build another diamond at Hoyt Park and a pavilion up on top. So it's going to be improved even better. It's one of 3 projects that are going to receive some extra funding. But he was telling us they bring players in from all over the Midwest, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, other places, Pennsylvania, and you just don't hear about it. But they come in town, they have these tournaments, and it's great for the area.
Oh, it is. It is. Like Saturday, we went to Midland for dinner with the kids, and we passed that soccer complex. You couldn't buy a parking space.
Yeah, well, that's like Shattuck Township, Saginaw Township soccer facility. When they have their tournaments, it's hard to drive the street, leave alone get a parking place.
I know. Yeah, I want to make a donation to a Hoyt Park. I used to skate there, just a mere 70 years ago in the old Sunday drive. We would go as a family, and we would we would get out and do some skating around and around to the music.
Yeah. Well, I know that there's going to be a committee set up in the very near future, because it's got to be done in the near future. And Dick Garber is going to be heading it up, and we're going to be looking at how to help Hoyt Park out. So keep tuned. We'll tell you about it. Keep tuned. Thanks for bringing it up.
Over the years.
Thanks for bringing it up, Jim. I appreciate it. Bye-bye now.
Yep. Bye.
And let's talk to Jane in Auburn. Jane, good morning.
Good morning to you. That was an uplifting caller.
Yeah.
I love Hoyt Park. I used to skate over there also. And the warming house has been renovated, I think.
Yes.
And you can go in there. It looks really nice over there.
Good. Well, it's going to be improved even further.
Oh, great, because it's a great area, actually. My grandmother used to live over there, and I used to go and drag my skates over the railroad tracks, go ice skating. Yeah, we trekked over there. My thoughts is all through the pandemic, I emailed Governor Whitmer, and I said to her many times, please hold these kids back a year. They are doing nothing. You know, the ones in our subdivision were running around on their golf courts. And they were doing nothing. And I kept saying, you got to hold all of them back. Just hold them all back 1 year to get caught up. And, of course, now we're number 42 with the states. And another thing that really bothers me is they're only in school 8 months out of the year. I mean, that's not even seems enough, really.
Yeah, well, that's been traditional. I mean, that's historic, really. It's not just here. It's everywhere.
Well, not in China.
Well, they're very well. I'm talking about the United States. Yeah, I know there are other places in the world that do it differently, but we've always traditionally done it that way. Whether there are better ways, I mean, you know, there are year-round systems where you go for X number of weeks and you're off for X number of weeks, and then you do it again and you do it again and you do it again. You know, does it work? Well, maybe.
Well, they lose so much in the summer.
Yeah.
I used to have my kids tutored. They were a little bit behind in reading, and I tutored them through the summer. That's what my reading specialist said.
Well, the other
and they
side of
picked
that,
up a couple grades. They went up about 2-3 grades just from being tutored.
The other side of that coin, Jane, is that for decades and decades and decades and decades, people had the summer off, went back to school in the fall, and all did pretty well, graduated, went on to college. So,
right,
you know, it's all up to the individual.
Well, everything's different. It's not the same world.
That's true.
The whole world, and I just think they should be going at least 10 months. You know, with all the holidays they have, and even get part of the summer maybe.
Good
but
enough.
we're just not keeping up at all.
Yeah.
So that's my thought.
Thanks
the
for
day.
calling. Appreciate
all
it.
right. All
Bye-bye
right.
now.
Thank you.
Yep. Bye. And Carl is in Saginaw. Carl, good morning.
Good morning, Art. At the end of the first hour, you were talking about guns and the Second Amendment. I'd like to talk about guns in maybe a slightly different way for a minute.
What's that?
Well, I think in our society right now, you know, with all the changes and things that are happening, I think a lot of people feel kind of powerless. And when it comes to guns, I think there's something about guns where it makes people feel like they have power again, that they're in control. And it just,
well,
it just, I'm trying to understand the fascination and the fever that some people seem to have about, you know, their guns and owning guns.
Here is the thing, Carl, that you have to understand. People that own guns, and let's separate them out. Let's say there's guns for hunting, and we understand those people go hunting, which is
sure,
and it's a necessity because it's how we conserve the population of animals and all of that. So we'll put those folks aside, and then there are people who have guns for either target shooting or self-defense, if you will. Anybody that carries a concealed weapon for self-defense will tell you they hope to God they never have to use it. My father was a special agent in the Treasury, carried a gun, and never had to draw that gun in anger, and hoped he never had to use it. Most people, including myself, who have CPLs, never, ever, ever want to have to use that weapon ever.
Yeah, I understand. I have a CPL also, and I've owned guns, with no disrespect, Art, a lot longer than you have.
Maybe, but it doesn't matter. You don't want to shoot anybody in anger, do you?
No, of
So
course
what makes
not.
you
I don't want to
different?
shoot anybody. I don't want to shoot anybody.
So are you exactly? Are you?
But I'm trying. No, but I'm trying to understand this fascination with guns. These people that have not a gun for self-protection, but 30 guns.
It's a hobby.
For self-protection.
It's a no. They have them because it's a hobby. There's collecting. There's the desire to have different kinds of guns for different sporting purposes, target purposes. I have more than
I'm
one.
not against gun. I'm not against gun collecting, Art. I'm talking about somebody that has 12 different kinds of AR-15s in their basement.
So what?
I'm talking about somebody that has 5,000 rounds of ammunition in their basement. I think these people, that's not just a hobby. That's beyond a hobby.
Well,
that's
all right.
Going someplace else.
So I have a bunch of ammunition. I don't have that much. But you know why I have a bunch of ammunition? Because I bought it on sale.
Okay, fine. But you know what, Art? You know what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the guy that target practices
there's exceptions
once a
to
month.
everything. There's exceptions to everything. Why do you have to have a car with 800 horsepower? Why?
Well, you don't.
You don't, but people do, don't they? So it's the same thing.
Yes, but
all right.
It's just I
got you.
We can talk more.
Got to run. Talk to you later.
All right. Thanks.
Bye now. Back, we'll get to Alan Midland when we return.
Tired of driving all over town just to find your favorite bottle of beer, wine, or liquor? Then look no further than Ideal Party Store in Bay City. Ideal Party Store has been making you the life of the party since 1934 with over 1,000 varieties of beer, hard-to-find spirits, and that perfect bottle of wine for any occasion. With locations on Johnson Street and Salzburg Avenue, both locations are equipped with supplies for any occasion. Put an end to your search and visit us at Ideal Party Store in Bay City on Johnson Street and Salzburg Avenue.
Hi, we're Comparion Insurance Agency. Right now you're thinking, Comparion, never heard of them. We know. We also know that you have no idea that Comparion Insurance agents are local and provide expert advice. So to help it stick, we're going to say local agent 4 times in the next 15 seconds. Ready? Go. Our local agents know you and your community. Our local agents offer insurance from top carriers. Our local agents have minty fresh breath.
Find us at ComparionInsurance.com. Comparion Insurance Agency. Local agents, expert advice.
And there's number 4.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but costs as low as $3 per dose? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at just $3 per dose. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but only $3 per dose. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Attention business owners. Stop throwing your hard-earned money away on rent. Imagine owning your own building and saving thousands every year. Sound impossible? Not if you use General Steel. General Steel can help you save thousands by owning your own custom design building. Just call 888-74-STEEL. That's 888-74-STEEL to see how much money you can save with General Steel. Our buildings come with a 50-year warranty, and thousands of companies, from Fortune 500 corporations to startups, have trusted the General with their building needs.
If you need to expand or start a new business, you really need General Steel.
I'm very impressed with General Steel. Everyone's been extremely helpful. I'd recommend General Steel to anyone looking to build a steel building.
Stop wasting money on rent. Call 888-74-STEEL. That's 888-74-STEEL to find out about all our popular quick construction kits, including a 40 by 60 foot building or a 50 by 100 clear span building. Just call 888-747-8335 now. That's 888-74-STEEL. This is a test of the emergency alert system on WSGW. Equipment that can quickly warn you during emergencies is being tested. WSGW serves Saginaw, Bay, and Midland counties, along with the surrounding area. This concludes this test of the emergency alert system on WSGW. This is a test. WSGW is conducting a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test. The WSGW Morning Team.
Here is
This concludes the test of the emergency alert system here on WSGW.
I use cash more than a card. I use card more than
The
a cash.
WSGW Broadcasting Studios are sponsored by the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center in Midland.
Oh, yeah. Fat Thumbs Lewis did it again, folks. That's the first time I flunked an EAS test. I had them backwards. Oh, well. Anyway, here we are. Back to the phones, and Al is in Midland. Al, good morning to you.
Good morning, Arthur. I have the same problem with these cell phone, the little tiny keyboards on the cell phone. Even if the cell phone's a huge cell phone, it's still got a little tiny keyboard. Yep. Go figure. Hi, hey, I'm going to try to attempt to answer Carl's question. Some of the folks they have different guns to become proficient at different shooting activities. They're doing target or trap or various other things, and they like to experience the satisfaction in being able to master all these different types of, so they may have a collection of 30, 40 guns. I think he exaggerates on some of that. You don't have very many collectors that are collecting thousands.
I didn't say
normal.
Thousands.
No, but that's kind of what he implies. 30 and 40 guns is nothing. It really is a very small collection. The thing about the ammunition, people are worried about shortages. We've had shortages in the past.
Well, there was a shortage of ammunition recently.
Yeah, and people go crazy when we get pandemics or whatever. They go out and they raid the grocery stores. They buy toilet paper by the carload or caseload or whatever. And so ammunition is no different than toilet paper in that regard, where people are stocking up. And like you say, they buy it on sale. They buy it on sale. They want to get a good price, and they're worried about shortages. So it's not a I don't know. He tries to make it out it's a bad thing. There's nothing bad about it. It's the way you use the tool. It's a tool, and in the right mind with the right thinking and the right activities behind it, there's nothing wrong with people owning 30 or 40 guns, or even 100 if they're a crazy collector that likes to have collections. Very few people are doing that. Anyhow, you were talking earlier about the cars and the subscription things. I talked to a fellow earlier last week about that, and he's worried about it too. that if he doesn't make his car payments or something, they'll turn a feature off. And this kind of stuff has been on cars for quite a while. Back, I want to say 15, 20 years ago, fellow bought a brand new car, I think it was a Cadillac, and he said,
This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is
Why
for
did
the
that
No
happen?
View Golf
Hold on.
Course. You are going to
Hold
get 18 holes of golf for two and
Hang
a
on a
cart
minute.
for only $33. It's usually $66, but you are getting
Got
it
a
half
mind
off.
of its own.
The Knoll View Golf Course is family-owned, built, and operated. Fridays and Saturdays during music night, they offer steak, shrimp, chicken, and salmon on the grill. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Something tripped it. Oh, well. Anyway, we're back, Al.
Yeah, that's okay.
I have it on manual now. We're talking about, we're talking about cars and cyber attacks on cars. And somebody just cyber attacked my computer, but that's all right.
Yeah. Well, it's the first time I've been preempted on part of my answer, I guess. That's okay, though. I don't mind it. He bought a new car, and he says, I bought the deluxe version with the speakers and the quadraphonic sound and the whole works. And they went out and checked his car, and he's watching them from outside of the car, and the guy turns the key, pushes a few buttons on the radio dial, and he gets back out, and he says, "You're all set." And I guess this was a $150 or $200 option you had to pay up front for. And so he got back in the car and turned the key, and lo and behold, everything worked, and it was the quadraphonic and the woofer, the subwoofer. It was all in the car all at the same time.
But he bought it. That wasn't a
He bought
subscription
it.
service.
Right, but it's in the car anyway. And all they have to do is turn it off remotely.
Some things are, not all. Some are.
But
Some of the electronics like that, yes, but not all.
This was 15 or 20 years ago that they.
I understand that. I understand that, but it's not.
And
it was universal.
Right, but it was cheaper for them to put it in all the vehicles and disable it.
Yeah.
Unless you paid for the.
But you bought it up front. You're not paying a monthly subscription, and they're not going to turn it off while you're driving down the highway.
Right.
All right. I got to take a break.
The thing is,
real quick.
This is a possibility, though, with remote control of things.
Oh, it's more than that.
Yeah.
I'll talk about it. If I have a minute here, I'll talk about it. I have an article on it.
Thanks,
All
Art.
right,
Have a
take
nice
care.
morning, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
All right, we'll be back. Bill, hang on. We'll get to you next.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check to start saving today. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance. GoodRx is not insurance.
For adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, now there's Skyrizi for systemic or phototherapy. Now there's only 150 milligrams. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections. Your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Before treatment, your doctor
If you
should
have
check for
unfiled
infection and
taxes or are in
tuberculosis.
debt to the
Tell your doctor
IRS,
if you have an
this is
infection or
important
symptoms,
news. The
such as
IRS
fever,
just
sweats,
rolled out a new
chills, muscle
program
aches, or
to help
cough.
struggling
Or if you plan to,
taxpayers
or
more
if you
easily
have
resolve their tax called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative. It opens a powerful new options for people losing track with the IRS. The IRS this program knows this program was adopted America's most trusted resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, other aggressive IRS action. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. With the IRS at Optima Tax Relief.
Now for your free confidential
consultation.
Call 800-783-8055. That's 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief. Optima Tax Relief.
Some details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hello, Michigan. I'm John Gonzalez.
And I'm Amy Sherman. We've got big news.
We're back! And you can join us Sundays at 1 p.m. as we once again go behind the mitten.
We'll take you to every corner of the state, sharing the stories that make Michigan great.
Find a hidden gem or a new favorite spot that might be located right in your hometown.
We'll go above the bridge and taste our way across the state.
Join us Sundays at 1 p.m. right here on 100.5 and 790 News Radio, WSGW.
Fly ball center field, going back, looking up, and it's gone, a home run! Akil Baddoo with a 3-run shot is his first of the year.
The Tigers play tonight at 7:15 on 790 News Radio WSGW.
All right, I apologize for the problems we had during that break. No idea. It's like a little gremlin took over. So anyway, back with you. Bill is in Caro. Bill, good morning.
Good morning, guys. From this side of the radio, it's pretty confusing.
Well, it was confusing on my side, too, because I heard the same thing you did, and I couldn't stop it.
I hear you guys over there in the big city.
The pandemic has taken a toll.
There we go again. Come on, whoever's playing with this system, stop. I don't know if the engineers are doing something, but that's
I think it's the Democrats.
No, I don't think it's the Democrats. It's somebody working on a system and not realizing they're doing stuff. Well. Well,
anyway, I hear you guys complaining about the roads over there in Saginaw. Yeah, I'll come over here to Carroll. We got roads. It's just amazing. I mean, they did here a few years ago. They just didn't toss them. I mean, they went down probably 4 inches and laid a nice layer on there.
What road was that?
Well, I mean, 86th Street.
Well, is it a state road?
That's a state road.
Well,
but,
that's why. You see, that's the we don't have
wait
any.
a minute, Art.
No.
Frank Street ain't a main road.
Okay, well, you did get some done then. That's good.
Quite a few of them. I don't know of any that isn't paved. I'm sure there might be some short ones, you know what I mean? But it's amazing. We really got some nice roads here.
Well, you're lucky.
Yeah. Apparently.
All right.
I've been over to Saginaw. It's pretty bad some places.
Some of them, yeah.
And this I'm amazed the calls that have come in when I listen to regular radio. We're going to run out of money June the 1st, and there's nobody called in about it. I don't understand it. Every newscast I listen to, we're going to run out of money June the 1st.
Well,
and why aren't people? Then I get to thinking when I was getting hit with 3 commercials, this country, basically, not everybody, but society in general, and rightly so, I suppose, is awful fearful. In general, they're awfully fearful for whatever reason. I think just a lot of things going on that we don't seem to have any control over. And then I just heard you say that, we're going out and buying a lot of ammunition and a lot of toilet paper. Well, that kind of goes along with being fearful, doesn't it?
All right, Bill, that's good.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
And here's Rachel in Bay City. Rachel, good morning.
Good morning, Art. Hey, I'm calling it also in regards to the comment that we don't have to have that many guns. This is what the people, I know Carl does tell us that he is a proud gun owner and he has no opposition to that. But see, that's what all of these people who are against or who want to limit our Second Amendment rights don't get. The purpose is to protect ourselves in the event of needing to against a tyrannical government. Mm-hmm. It's not you get to have one or you get to have two. That's the whole point. I just don't. I mean, I don't get what they don't get. It's so crazy to me.
Well, now you also have to be honest, Rachel, and you look at the news and you see what's happening with the mass shootings. You know that is going to trigger a response. You absolutely know it's going to happen.
they use it for their advantage
Well, it's
in an attempt to do gun grabs.
Yeah.
Like they use that as the excuse when it has almost zip-o to do with it.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
kill more people with cars every year, but we don't take cars off the road.
Well, and they talk about the amount of mass shootings that have already happened this year and how it's 230 or something like that. What they don't say is that 99% of them are a bunch of thugs, gang people who are shooting and killing each other. Like, it's not these psychos who show up at schools. That's not 90% of it. It's not. And, you made a comment, too, about the gun-free zones do not sway someone's choice of a location to apprehend their crime. But actually, that Tennessee psychopath who said she was transgender said she's a man, and we still haven't gotten to see the manifesto of yet, which is insane. She actually opted out of. She was going to.
Yeah, I knew about that one.
Location.
Yeah, I knew about that one, but that was one. Most of them don't.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, it may be the exception to the rule, but it's still a potential, incentive for them.
Yeah.
But, all right. That's all I wanted to say.
Good
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye now. And last caller is going to be Ken in Caro. Ken, good morning.
Good morning, Art. I know you're fine, so I'm not going to ask you. Anyway, that previous caller, just off the topic here a second from what I want to talk about, but that possibly could have been called a tranifesto instead of a manifesto, just, touching the edges.
Oh.
But, okay, I have interest in Line 5, the tunnel, okay?
Okay.
I might possibly be able to go to work on that, so I get a little jaded on the whole thing. But if they are successful in shutting that down and all that whole thing, I think they ought to go to work real hard on taking the Mackinac Bridge down, because more hydrocarbons have leaked off of the Mackinac Bridge due to traffic and whatnot over the history of that bridge than have ever been spilled in by Line 5 into straight to Mackinac.
Yeah.
Plus, it changes the currents and all this other thing. And if you can't tell me that's an eyesore compared to a tunnel, and I'm being facetious here, of course.
I know you are, because it's actually a very good-looking bridge.
It is. It's a beautiful thing. But the Native Americans, what an eyesore on the beautiful before it was there. Oh, what a beautiful sight that was, if you could remember. I can remember when it wasn't there.
Yep.
But anyway, just want to kick that out there, Art. Have fun. Enjoy your day.
Thank you, too. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
All right. That'll do it. Yeah, we haven't talked much about the debt thing because they're talking about it. I did pull information on it, but just didn't get to it this morning. And I've said earlier, and I said it earlier this week and last week, I think if it gets too close, they'll come up with a stopgap for a couple of months and continue the debate. I really believe that, and it's happened before, and it may happen again. So that won't solve the problem. It just pushes it down the road, but they're very good at pushing things down the road. Seems to be what they do the most of in Washington. Anyway, that'll do it for the Art Lewis Show for today. We'll take a break, come back and close out and move ahead to Focus.
The pandemic has taken a toll. Michigan's Stay Well program offers tools to support your mental wellness.
I'm strong with community by my side.
I'm on my way to feeling okay again.
With free Stay Well discussion groups, webinars, a counseling hotline, and more, you can be
confident. There's hope for tomorrow.
Get free emotional support at michigan.gov/staywell. Sponsored by the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and the Michigan Association of Broadcasters.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com.
or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.